Hey guys, this is Courtney back from Willow's Bloom, and today I'm going to be doing the April monthly forecast for Sagittarius, Sun, and Rising, especially Rising, but you can also watch for your Sun because it's also significant. So, before we jump into today's forecast, I wanted to mention a couple things. First, March, we had a really big month astrologically. Saturn moved into Pisces, where it's going to be for the next 2.5 years. So definitely go ahead and check out that video. I will link that down below. I actually have videos for all three of these things. We also have Pluto moving to the sign of Aquarius in March, and this is going to be really epic. This is just crazy because Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn since 2008. So it's going to be a major shift for us as a collective. So definitely check that out. Both of these are collaborations with other astrologers, both of these videos, and they are very helpful for you guys. The last one is the Aries new moon, which is the start of the astrological new year. So happy 2023, according to astrology. And this will kind of set like a solar return energy for the rest of the year. So if you want to check that out, I would definitely encourage to see what is to come. What are we trying to manifest this year? And that Jupiter and Aries energy is really prominent for that one. So I'm excited for you guys to check that out. Also, I wanted to say that I did create a poll on my YouTube and I got really 50-50 split between weekly forecasts and monthly forecasts. So we're trying them out. I've been doing the weekly, so clearly some of you guys like that, but I did want to try the monthly since I have gotten a few comments about that, and I wanted to just experiment and see what you prefer once I actually try them both. So let me know in the comment section down below which one you guys vibe with. The monthly is nice because you can go back and kind of re-listen to it, and it has all the energies that you want. I was considering maybe doing like a general weekly forecast, although I feel like everyone likes to watch for their sign. So just kind of thinking about everything. If you guys have any opinions, definitely let me know. So let's go ahead and get started. Mercury is moving into the sign of Taurus on April 3rd at the start of the month, and that is in your 6th house, Sagittarius. So if you have not felt busy, and even if you have, you are going to be moving into a time where you're probably feeling really busy. We have the Eight of Wands, which I see things picking up in terms of energy, momentum, activities. The Eight of Wands definitely gives me the vibe that there are a million things to juggle at once. And so if things have been kind of calm, especially in your work, if you have been feeling like, oh yeah, my job hasn't been giving me lots of tasks, or so I haven't been having lots of client calls, that's going to change. Hang on. I dropped the Ace of Swords. So I don't know if it's going to be creating, I feel like more conversations with the Ace of Swords, a lot more networking, communication amongst you and your coworkers or you and your clients. I definitely feel like you guys might have also new ideas if you have your own business or if you're in some type of leadership position. I feel like you guys might be having creative new ideas to help that business move forward. And with the Strength card, I feel like this is actually describing two things. I think if things have been slow, it's been kind of having you hold on and have strength. If you've been struggling with something in your life, I feel like things are about to pick up and get better, but I also think it requires strength in a different kind of way. Like, hold on tight to your reins because we're going to be picking things up a huge amount. You know, things are going to be really like a wild horse a little bit, and your schedule might just kind of whew. And so it's going to be very, very important for you to have structure with this Emperor and the Eight of Pentacles. You guys are absolutely needing some type of schedule, some type of routine, some type of boundaries, or even like delegation, something where you can work consistently towards something or on something and have some type of framework, have some type of structure or schedule. Because otherwise, I feel like with these Eight of Wands, I think you guys are honestly going to have a lot to juggle, and things are going to be moving so fast that without this structure, I think you are going to be like literally on a wild horse. It's kind of like running on a wild horse without any reins. But with the Emperor, with the Eight of Pentacles, it's like, let's put on reins. We'll have a bit I used to own horses. I love horses. And you have some semblance of control. Things are still wild, but you actually are moving it into a specific direction rather than being just like a victim to people popping up and being like, I need you for a meeting right now. You know, it's like, well, I don't have a time right now. Ask my assistant or look at my calendar. And you're setting that kind of like that firmness, that container that your body needs as well. Like this could be even physically, like working on your body if your health has been a little bit whack, even your mental health. Like you guys might really need to get some type of routine in order to protect your physical and mental health. Especially because I do think things are going to be busy regardless of how you feel. So you're going to have to make sure that you can maintain yourself in that process of things picking up energetically. On April 3rd, when Mercury does move into Taurus in your 6th house, it's also making a square to Pluto in your 3rd. So there are sometimes things that can come up where we just might feel like a little bit challenged. Mercury square Pluto can make us feel like we are digging up stuff that has been pushed down or pushed to the side or not fully acknowledged. And this is going to be especially true when it comes to anything like mentally, you know, or communication wise. If you have been having any type of confusion, or if you haven't known how you were going to handle something, or you don't know what you think about something, or you've been really like in la la land, but you haven't taken steps towards it, if you've just been dreaming about it. I really feel like when Mercury squares Pluto, it's trying to bring more intentionality into the picture. Let's get clear. Let's be honest. Let's be truthful. Let's actually reflect on what we want or what our message is. Like, let's connect the dots between our subconscious and what is spoken aloud, or our conscious mind. So if things have been pushed aside, I can see it being brought up to be addressed, to be looked at, to be clarified. And then I feel like you can move forward with a lot more ease. I think it's hard to move forward confidently with something without some type of plan or clarity. And the 3 of Wands, it really wants to know like where it's headed. It wants to know what the goal is, what the mission is, what we can put our mind to. And sometimes the goal is simply we're going to eliminate our anxiety as much as we can this month. So what does that look like? Meditating once a day, making sure I go for a walk every day outside, like stuff like this. Basically, it's having some type of structure and routine, but also like a mission, knowing where you're going, clarifying, being honest, communicating, getting yourself and others on board to head towards that goal, that direction. And it might involve some sternness or firmness as well. Mercury square Pluto can be a little bit like, can be a little volatile or aggressive, but I don't really see it that way necessarily. I just see it being like, this is how it's got to be, period. The next 2 days, actually, April 5th, we have Mercury in Taurus in your 6th, sextiling Saturn in your 4th. So I do feel like whatever communication you guys have, whatever plan you guys make, becomes this really solid foundation from which you can navigate the uncertainties of life. I feel like you know kind of your protocol, like you know how you're going to handle something. Somebody knows how you feel. So if there have been things pushed aside in terms of like work dynamics, family dynamics, if there's been anything that you've kind of like, we'll deal with that later. Like this is going to come back up when that Mercury squares Pluto. And I think that you guys are going to resolve it and create stability so that there is, again, like a plan, something really solid, a unified focus working together, especially within your home and your emotional centers. If you felt like there has been, like if there was something like unclear, unresolved, this sextile with Saturn is saying, okay, we're clear now. We know how we feel. We feel settled. We feel certain. We feel aware. We're committed to a specific direction, and it can help bring a lot of like internal stability. And again, I think it's going to help you with the Queen of Swords and the Knight card. It's going to help you navigate with a lot more clarity, honesty, boundaries, certainty, the darkness and the uncertain things that come up in life. It's super important, like how life can be really chaotic. And I feel like there are going to be unknowns And the Queen of Swords is super necessary because she already knows how she's going to approach the situation. She knows her values, she knows her priorities, and she can make decisions accordingly and adapt accordingly and ask for the boundaries and support and things that she needs to make it happen. On the same day, April 5th, we have Sun conjunct Chiron and Aries in the 5th house. So everyone is going to have Sun conjunct Chiron and in the sign of Aries, which is going to help bring healing to the masculine. It's going to help bring awareness to where we have led from maybe toxic masculinity, where we have maybe been overly defensive, or where we have maybe been impulsive, especially in the 5th house. Like, have there been ways in which you've been like impulsive or pleasure seeking? Have there been ways in which you have gotten mad too easily? Or had issues with your children where it would have been better to have patience, but you got frustrated or angry. Maybe in your dating life, you jumped the gun too quickly and you pursued a partnership with somebody that wasn't actually good for you. Like, there can be many different ways, but the 5th house is very like relationship, pleasure oriented. What do I desire? Who do I want to be around? How do I want to celebrate and have joy? And when we have Aries in there, that's great. But if it's toxic Aries energy, if it's unhealthy masculine energy, it does tend to gravitate towards, like I was saying, being overly impulsive, being overly assertive, being aggressive, like just going after and grasping what you want and what you desire and how you want things to be. That's not always going to get you what you want. And I think that this energy is meant to become a little bit more healed and help you transition into almost like a little bit more of an established way of being. Like, okay, I have an idea of how I need to operate in this area of my life. I kind of want to pull one more oracle card because I pulled the 6 of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. And the 6 of Swords is very much a transition. Like, let's leave behind this old way of being and have a new beginning with the Ace of Pentacles. So some of you might have some type of new beginning in their area of children, creativity, dating, fun, and joy. But I think it's coming from a place of, I pulled the joy card. That's funny. I think it's coming from a place of like, I'm not going to just operate from my wounded masculine anymore, which can be that defensive energy that I was talking about, all those things that I listed. But it's like, I'm going to pursue it in a healthier way. So the joy card, what does that say? It's really relevant. Nectar, grace, sensuality, beauty, divine feminine, nurturing, creativity, and abundance. You are the nurturer. Your presence brings renewal and joy to others. Express your creativity to keep attracting this colorful energy back to you. This is all very 5th house. Like the hummingbird, you're a creature of nectar, a conduit of divine love and joy. If this is reversed, it represents the inability to see the blessings you've been given. So I feel like there might be some healing happening where you guys have been maybe in some aggressive, like not aggressive, but like some unhealthy masculine energy. And it's stepping into more of an appreciation with the Sun conjunct Chiron and Aries of the passions and the joys and the things that are in your life. And not so much like, I'm going to grasp towards that next thing that I want, or I'm going to coerce this into being the thing that I want it to be. It's like, let's appreciate what is in existence in our life right now. And I think the Sun Chiron will help you do that. And I actually think it'll help you get clearer also on your purpose and your confidence and why you're so amazing. And I think that actually helps soothe that part of us that's like reaching and controlling and grabbing. It's because we feel a lot more settled in ourselves. Like, I love myself. I'm happy with who I am, with where I am. And then it's almost like the other things in our life tend to like, just like calm down a lot. We don't need to like have such a tight hold on to it, if that makes sense. So on this same day, you also have Venus moving into Gemini, which is in your 7th house. So I definitely think relationships are going to start to improve. You guys have had Mars moving through your 7th house for like a really long time now. And finally Mars is shifting out of Gemini, it's shifting out of your relationship sector, and now Venus is moving in there. So it's a lot more about feeling at ease with people in our lives instead of this constant combativeness. If you felt like you were almost enemies with your partner, or like you were having trouble with contracts, or things were just like, not harmonious, I feel like that's shifting when Venus moves into Gemini on April 11th. The next day, or actually 3 days later, April 14th, we have Venus in Gemini in your 7th, but it's squaring Saturn in your 4th. So even though you have improved that relationship energy with this square to Saturn, everyone is going to experience a little bit of relationship turmoil. We might feel like if you're married to someone, we might feel like, oh, my partner is just like not getting me today. They're not doing the dishes. They're not emotionally supportive. Or you might want to like buy a house and you feel like the deal falls through, or you don't have enough money. Sometimes relationships and money just feel like a lot more like bleh and not the best at that time. But it's just a 1-day transit. I mean, we can kind of feel it like the surrounding days as well, but it's just a little blip of a transit in the middle of the month where it's like, okay, yes, things are on the up and up, things are improving in relationships, but you might have another little blip, and that's okay because that's what life is. And I pulled the Hermit. So I think it can be helpful to actually go within as well during that time and not be so reactive. Really felt like that with the Sun Chiron and Aries. It's like there's some kind of healing around being reactive. And I think you might notice that, like, even though that relationship support isn't fully there that day, I feel like you're going to not be super like about it, Instead, I think you're going to reflect a little bit more about, what do I need? How did that make me feel? And be a little bit more in your internal world rather than out in that person's face, whoever that person is. Doesn't have to just be a partner. The Hermit card, I also feel like can maybe make you feel more isolated. Like, I don't want to be as social. I don't want to answer people right now. I'm just feeling a little bit disconnected from the world, and that's okay too. Those things happen. April 20th, we have an Aries solar eclipse, which is a really big deal. This is a new moon happening in your 5th house, but it's an eclipse. So that means we have this catalyzing energy, this Uranian kind of unpredictable energy. Anything can change. Anything can happen. I always talk about this as like you're shifting timelines. Like, I'm just going to leap into another timeline. Like, you're leaping into another dimension. And I think this is really going to improve that sense of joy. So if there have been things that you have been not fully embracing, like how much joy it brings into your life, or again, striving and trying to control all those things I was kind of mentioning earlier, I really feel like you can notice a huge energy shifts for you around this time and lightens up immensely. I pulled the Knight of Pentacles and 5 of Pentacles. I think that you guys are also working on that lack mentality in general. Like, okay, I'm going to be more consistent in showing up and be grateful for what is in my life instead of focusing on what I don't have. And I think that's what a lot of what this Aries solar eclipse is trying to teach you, is how to see like the silver lining, how to see what is going right and not just focus on the things that are disastrous. On the same day, the sun moves into Taurus. By the way, I don't know if I already mentioned, but I'm going to do a whole separate video on the eclipse and the full moon. So stay tuned. On April 20th, the sun is also moving into Taurus in your 6th house. So it's just a really good day, or just a really good time in terms of work in general. Like, you're going to be more like energized and focused and clear about your work. I feel like more of your identity and your energy starts moving into that area of your life. So if there's certain responsibilities that you're needing to take care of, it's just really supportive of that. I think it could also help you with planning so that you don't get so burnt out. With the 2 of Wands and the 9 of Wands, I really feel like the sun moving into 6 is going to help you establish that routine, that consistency, that plan that will help you kind of move forward even when things are really tiring, or even when things are uncertain for you. So you can overcome any kind of burnout energy, and instead you can get you can receive support from other people. I really feel like this is like a balanced energy. I think the sun moving into the 6th will ultimately help you balance out like what you need in your routine and your structure to create that feeling of, okay, I'm putting the right amount of work in, I'm getting the right amount of results, I'm not wasting too much time on meetings or unnecessary tasks. Like I feel like I'm being efficient, I feel like I'm being productive. But this isn't just going to happen when the sun moves into the 6th house. It's going to take some time, and it's going to specifically take the Mercury retrograde time, which is happening on April 21st to May 14th. Mercury will retrograde in Taurus in your 6th house, and that will give you a chance to really look at all your tasks. How have I spent my time this week? How is my schedule? How am I communicating with people? What is like superfluous? What needs further planning? How do I need to adjust my plans? There's a re-examining of our daily mundane little activities to create, again, more consistency, efficiency, and balance. So it's like, okay, I just need to tweak this one thing, and I do have a lot on my plate, but it makes me feel 10 times lighter when I do it like this, and I have this much extra time, and da. And that might be also getting support from other people. That might look like asking for help. That's a really big thing for you. I felt like that with Taurus as well. A lot of like leaning more on other people. The last transit that I want to talk about today, and there are more transits, they weren't like big transits that I wanted to really go into every single one of them. But if you are interested in every single transit and the energy that has, like what is it, a lucky day? Is it a stressful day? What are you going to get? I have a Notion template for the full year forecast. So if you use Notion, check that out down below. April 25th, we have the sun in Taurus in your 6th, sextiling Saturn in the 4th. So I really feel like there's going to be some support within the home front that helps you with whatever schedule you have. Like the thing that we were talking about, like solidifying your schedule because you have so much work to do. I really feel like your family or your home or something within that like support system is coming through for you to make it more harmonious between what are your everyday tasks and duties and how are you feeling, and how do we kind of make sure that you get the rest that you need, that you feel like you are taking care of yourself emotionally and mentally. Like how do we make sure that your body is taken care of and your responsibilities and work are taken care of? And I really feel like there's going to be something within the home that offers a more stable kind of structure for you to lean on, or something within yourself that you are healing or doing that gives you that stability and firmness within yourself. So that could look like, okay, I'm going to make sure that I always have every night some type of spiritual prayer or routine where I can really feel like I'm getting my cup refilled and this is going to help me. Or my partner decided that he is going to, or she is going to, take the kids to school this day. And so I'll have a little bit more time because of blah, 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 blah. So I feel like you're establishing some kind of like system, structure, support, or something within the home. And I think it's going to relieve some of your anxiety because I have the 8 of Swords and the Temperance. I just think that you guys are really overworked or overburdened or anxious about the future in some way. And I think that you need a support system. You need the structure. You need the routine. And this day, there's going to be something that's offered to you that holds you, that embraces you and allows that to happen. We also have the moon card. I kind of want to pull a clarifier, but I think it's interesting that this moon is crying. So some of you guys might even feel like emotionally a little bit heavy, and you might realize how you felt like emotionally heavy. I almost feel like you're like maybe having an emotional release on this day. Like, when you've had such a hard day and then you just get held and you get hugged and you just kind of start crying and collapsing into that person's arms and you feel the full weight of your grief or your anxiety or your overwhelm and you're like I can finally like give in and relax. And that's what I'm seeing here. Like some of you guys might have this kind of release. You might even release something from your past as well. Like if something has caused you anxiety that has crept up from your past or even your unconscious or subconscious, like I'm not good enough, or I'm never going to be a good enough mom, or I'm not good enough at my job, and I'm not ever working hard enough, and I'm never going to make this happen. Like those kinds of thoughts, like I almost feel like you guys are going to release that and cry it out and just be like, I'm done. I think those things, but I'm kind of done with it. Let me pull any kind of clarifier for this moon card. We have the Lovers. Aww. Yeah, the Lovers to me is relationships, but it's also like support from your relationships, support from your home, your family, but it's also supporting yourself. Like really having your own back, really being your best friend, really encouraging yourself, having compassion towards yourself. And if you are having that emotional release, being like, oh, Courtney, I got you. Like you are doing your best. You are doing good enough. And seeing how hard you're trying, like looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, you are doing so good just as you are. Like, please giving yourself more credit here and allowing others to give you credit too. I just feel like there's a need to be a little bit nicer to yourself. And on this day, I think you're going to have more clarity around that and actually see that that's something that you want to do. Okay. I'm going to finish up by pulling an advice card for your month of April. So what does my Sagittarius need to know for the month of April? The Sunstone. This makes a lot of sense for you guys. If everyone would just like take a deep breath in with me for a second here. And then exhale, sigh out of the mouth. Just take 2 more like that. This is extremely relaxing for the nervous system. And I almost feel like with that 8 of Swords, you need to relax the nervous system. Okay, Sunstone. Joy is the highest vibration in the universe, matched and surpassed only by love. When you align yourself with the fabulous frequency, you're flying high, as close to the angels as you can get. Sunstone has come to lighten you up with the radiant vibrance of ecstasy to elevate you closer to your angels, to hear and feel their loving guidance more clearly. Sunstone is a sign that you need more joy in your life. You need more joy in your life. And I definitely feel that for you guys. I think that's also why you have Sun Chiron conjunct in Aries in your 5th house on April 5th. Like it's trying to bring more joy and appreciation of joy, a cultivation of joy. I also don't think I mentioned you have a full moon in Libra the next day, which is in your 11th house of friendships. So maybe your friends can be a really good source of joy for you, and maybe you can lean on them more than you are. But I'll do a video on that separately. Get out of your own way and stop putting achievement, success, and accomplishment or your to-do list, your responsibilities, ahead of your happiness. In reality, your destiny and joy are indistinguishably connected, as joy is a compass that directs you towards your purpose and highest good. So I really feel like this is trying to put your priorities in order and not just think that I have to do so much, I have to get so much done, because you are busy. You're really busy this month. But it's like, what makes me happy? What lights me up? How can I create balance and structure in my life so that I make sure that my cup is being filled? And then I wanted to also let you guys know that I am offering a 12-week coaching program. It's one-on-one, but if you're interested in kind of working with your chart and seeing how your childhood relates, like your development in childhood relates to your chart, and maybe what kind of didn't go well or go properly in your childhood development, and how that is creating current patterns in your life today as an adult, and how you're kind of stuck in those patterns. If you want help with that, I do have that ongoing coaching program, 12 weeks. If you're interested in that, definitely let me know at contact@willowswomb.com, and check me out at willowswomb.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day.